What's up, guys? It's Bumpkins. Today is Wednesday, February 2nd. Wednesday means New Comic Book Day. New Comic Book Day means New Comic Book Haul video. As always, I went down to Infinity Flux here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for another big old stack of books and a few other goodies as well. Also, real quick, don't forget, if you are in the US and you need a comic book store, maybe you don't have one or you're looking for a different one, reach out to Infinity Flux. They'll be linked or tagged, or wherever you're watching this, there will be a way to reach out to them, let them know what you're looking for. Again, if you're in the US, they will ship stuff to you, so just let them know what you're looking for, and they might be able to help you out. But let's get started, because there's a bunch of cool stuff to go through, starting with Marvel, starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 88, the X-Gwen variant. I haven't been... I'm not trying to collect all the X-Gwen variants. There's a lot that I'm leaving behind, but this one was really cool. I like this one, Gwen Stacy as Jean Grey. I really like the art on this one, and I really like this issue as well, just continuing the Beyond storyline. Things are starting to come to a head now. They're not all the way there yet. Ben knows that the Beyond Corporation is into some shady stuff. They know that he knows, and now it's this sort of weird cat and mouse where they don't trust each other, but they're not letting each other on to the fact that they know. So it's one of those stories. Plus, we get the first appearance of a new character, Queen Goblin. Ooh, instead of Green Goblin, it's Queen Goblin. They didn't reveal her identity, but it's pretty obvious. But it was still cool. So a nice cliffhanger ending. I'm still loving this storyline. Next up, Avengers Take on Avengers number 6. I'm pretty sure this is the last one of this miniseries. I haven't read any of them yet. Now that I've got them all, I can just stack them up and go through them. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear number 2. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to read as many of these as I wanted to before I made this video, and this is one of those. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But the first one was really cool. I really like Elektra as Daredevil. I like seeing her try to live up to Daredevil's code when she feels differently about some things. This sort of kind of ties into Devil's Reign, but it also could be its own thing. Just really, really solid stuff here. Fantastic Four, Life Story number 6. This is the 2010s. So this is the last issue of this miniseries as well. I haven't read any of it yet, but I do have them all. So just like with the Avengers miniseries, I can stack these up and go through them at once. Fantastic Four, Reckoning War Alpha. I just, in the last couple days since the last video, I have completely caught up on Dan Slott's run of Fantastic Four. It's really fun. I really enjoyed the whole run all the way through. The art was really good all the way through. Just some good, fun, adventurous comic book stories, and that's all I really need. So, and I wanted to read all of those in preparation for this, and it was pretty good. It was a lot of setup, a lot of exposition, a lot of history, telling about things that happened in the past in order to establish a story that's coming. But I really like this, and I'm really excited for what's to come next. Savage Spider-Man number 1. So I wasn't going to get this miniseries because I didn't love non-stop Spider-Man, and even though Spider-Man has been my favorite my whole life, and I never won't buy Spider-Man, I don't know if I need all the miniseries. So, but then this awesome variant cover, this awesome Spider-Man number 1, Todd McFarlane Spider-Man number 1, homage cover, I couldn't pass that up. I don't know if I'll get the whole series. I guess it depends on if I like this issue or not, which again, I didn't get the chance to read it, but I couldn't pass up that awesome cover. Shang-Chi number 8, this nice black and white variant. I didn't get the chance to read this one as well, but I can't wait to, because issue 7 ended on a nice cliffhanger. We presumably are going to learn a little bit more about Shang-Chi's grandfather, which is pretty neat. We know about his father. The last issue was a lot of backstory about his mother, and then you know, we're going to be introduced to his grandfather. I don't know if this is a lot of backstory on him, or if we're going to get some present day stuff, learn more about his grandfather later, but it should be fun to find out. Spider-Woman number 19. This isn't a series that I'm regularly buying, but like I said before, I'm a sucker for tie-ins. This one does tie into Devil's Reign, although the last one supposedly did as well, and it was just barely. So, you know, some of the Devil's Reign tie-ins have been pretty good and solid. Others have been just barely tying in. This was one of them, but because it's a tie-in, I got to get it. X Lives of Wolverine number 2, the awesome Mark Bagley trading card variant. I haven't read the first X Lives of Wolverine or the first is it X Deaths and Lives or 10 Deaths and Lives? I'm not real sure. They confuse me with the X of Powers of X and House of 10 and whatever of Wolverine. Whatever. This is one series that I don't know if I'm going to continue with because, again, just like I said last time, I haven't been reading any of the other X books except for the X-Men proper title, which I'm probably going to drop at some point just because I'm just not so deep in the X-Men that I need them all the time. I am going to catch up with them digitally at some point, but for now, I'm enjoying these covers, and I need to catch up on this to figure out if I want to keep going with it. So it was a slightly smaller DC day, but we got some bangers in here. Batman number 120, the very nice B cover here. Batman is still trying to figure out who Abyss is. This is the third part of this story, and he still doesn't know. There's still a lot of mysteries surrounding Abyss. Lex Luthor's involved. Batman Inc. Is sort of on the outs with Batman, I guess. So just a lot of mysteries, a lot of things to try to figure out, but I'm enjoying the ride. One of my favorite ones of the few that I did get to read before this, one of my favorites, Dark Knights of Steel number 4. So guys, I know I sing the praises of this book all the time, but this is legit just awesome. Now, this issue is a little bit different from the first 3 because this is all flashback. So, you know the big revelation in the first one about the Superman's parents came to Earth with him, and then the big revelation at the end of that issue, which I won't say too much in case you haven't read it, but this this offers a look back at how all of that came to be, how the big revelation at the end of the first issue came to be. So this is all flashback. It doesn't move the current story forward at all, but it's okay because this flashback story is really good, fills in a lot of holes, answers some questions, gives us another character reveal of somebody we have heard the name of, but we haven't seen yet. Just all in all, an awesome issue. Different artists as well, but the art was still good. But this was a really fascinating story. You could almost read this after the first issue because it just, like I said, it takes place sort of out of time. It's all flashback, so you could technically read the first issue, then read this one if you really want to know, holy cow, that's an awesome reveal, how did that happen? You could read this next and then continue on, and you'd be just fine. But this is fantastic. Detective Comics 1051, so continuing the weekly Arkham Tower storyline. This one was pretty good. The Arkham Tower story is really fun so far, but like I've said before, I feel like I'm not getting as much out of it because I haven't read all the stuff leading up to it. I don't really know some of the characters in it. I don't know if they've been established already or if all of us reading this are learning all at once. But there is something cool in here. We do sort of learn the whys behind Arkham Tower. The whole crux of the story is how have they been able to pacify these villains when they were never able to do it in Arkham Asylum? And then we've seen from the first part that everything goes to hell at some point. This issue gives us the why behind that. So I found that to be really interesting. So there's still a long way to go. I think this is part 5, and I think it's a 12-part thing. So we're not even halfway there yet, or maybe it's 6 and we're half. I'm not real sure. But it's really interesting, and I can't wait to check out more of it. Oh, and the backstory is really good, too. Like, the backstory has been, it's fine, but I don't really know why I need it. But the backstory of this, it's continuing the story that we've had. And it's really interesting. Like, I think that backstory would be an interesting tale in its own, like pulled out in its own book, maybe in a trade or something. I don't know. I guess it's going to go 12 parts as well, but I really like it. So this was a really, really good issue. Justice League Incarnate number 4. So this is one I didn't get the chance to read, but you guys know I haven't been enjoying this miniseries as much as Infinite Frontier before it. But because it's only a 5-issue miniseries, I figured I'd go ahead and finish it out. Last issue was really fun, probably the best of the first 3 so far. I'm not sure if how this one ranks, but I am going to finish it out, and maybe I'll change my mind. Suicide Squad number 12. I wish I had gotten the chance to read this one because I gotta say, this one is sort of my dark horse pick of all the DC books. Like, I had planned on dropping this several issues ago, and then I got caught up to whatever issue it was at that point, and wow, it's really good. This is just a really fun story, really interesting. I like the characters. I really love the addition of Ambush Bug. He just introduces, some nice levity to an otherwise pretty serious story. This is leading us to the Battle for Earth 3, I think, or War for Earth 3, something like that. Whatever that crossover is. So I'm interested in that. Things are coming to a head with Amanda Waller and Rick Flag and his team and the Suicide Squad working for her, but they don't want to work for her. Just all that stuff. This is a really good book. This is a really fun book. I was, pleasantly surprised when I caught up, and I'm going to keep on it. And this awesome John Boy Myers cover. I love John Boy Myers, and that cover is just fantastic. So as for Image and the indies, well, it's only just Image books today. I didn't have any indies, a couple maybe later, but starting off with crossover number 11. There was a lot of hubbub about this because of some stuff that Donny Cates tweeted before it came out, advising that this issue was a big one, to stay away from spoilers. And while I do agree that you should stay away from spoilers, the big thing didn't really happen until the end, which makes the next issue really should be the big one. I won't say anything about it, no spoilers, and I won't even spoil the end of last issue as well for the big reveal in that. But this was an interesting issue. I feel like crossover is hard to keep up with. I feel like it hasn't come out consistently. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But every time a new issue comes out, I've forgotten, like even more so than normal. I've forgotten what happened in the issue before. But still, it's super interesting. The last page in this was really cool. I don't know what ramifications that's going to have. That's why the next one is going to be cool to pick up. But if you were into this story, I think you're going to like this one. Legoland's number 6. Or actually, that way, the comic you have to read horizontally. I've only read the first issue of this, and I keep meaning to drop it, but these books are, like, physically, they're gorgeous. Like, the covers are awesome. The physical pages feel nice. It's just one that I keep meaning to drop, but I can't quite do it. I'm not sure if it's going to get released in a trade or a hardcover. It would probably be a really cool story to read that way. But I just find myself keep buying them, and I'm gonna probably keep doing that, and I'll catch up on it eventually. Geiger 80-page giant. So I didn't get the chance to read much of this one. This is actually a collection of smaller stories set in the Geiger universe, I guess. The first story features this character here, Redcoat. That's the only one I got to read, but it was really cool. We are introduced to this guy named Redcoat. He does have a real name. Well, I won't say it. I'll let you read it. But he's got an interesting story. One that, when it's only a few pages long, and when it was over, I instantly wanted to know more. I instantly wanted to read more of this character. So they hooked me just with this short story. And at the bottom at the end, it does say that he'll be in another comic. I'm not sure if I think it's his own title, maybe, coming later this year. I can't wait for that. I don't know about the rest of the stories in this, but Geiger is just super interesting because we talk a lot about, we've talked before about maybe Radiant Black is building up the Image superhero universe, and of course the Marvel universe, the DC universe. Geiger on its own is kind of building its own universe, it feels like anyway, and that's really cool. We know there's going to be more Geiger adjacent characters coming based on the end of the 6-issue Geiger miniseries. So yeah, I can't wait to read the other stories in this and see what else may be introduced to us. Nocterra number 7. So I didn't get the chance to read this one either, unfortunately. The last Nocterra book we got was the Blacktop Bill special. That one is really cool. It introduced us to Blacktop Bill's past and how maybe he got that way. Before that, we hadn't had a Nocterra issue since August. It did, what some Image books are doing, where it releases 5 or 6 issues, then takes a break for a while. Now it's back with number 7. Again, I didn't get the chance to read it. I have no idea what the next chapter, if you will, is going to be like, but I can't wait to read it. The official Image timeline. So this was really cool. I wasn't quite sure what this was going to be. I did flip through it. This isn't a comic book, but really it's more of just a on both sides of each page, it's just a timeline of Image, like 1991 or 1992 Image was formed, and 95 this book was introduced, and Rob Liefeld moved his books to this. Just a whole bunch of just the history of Image. Obviously it's not super in-depth because in the middle is just pictures of different Image covers from different Image comics. I keep meaning to make a video about this because I think it's super interesting. Going back now and reading a bunch of the Image 90s stuff, a lot of it is not good. Like the art, the art is okay, I guess. It doesn't hold up. The stories don't hold up. But I will say this, having been a kid in the 90s, living through the introduction, the formation of Image, for my money, to this day, there has never been a more exciting time in comics than when Image formed in the early 90s. Like the early 90s of Image, books just didn't look like that. And back then, there was still pretty much just Marvel and DC. You did have your smaller publishers, but it wasn't as even now as Marvel and DC were just the top dogs, and then everybody else was way down here. And Image broke that mold. The books were exciting at the time. We sort of overlooked the lackluster stories and the weird art, that kind of thing. But it was just an exciting time. It really tickles that nostalgia bone, and I can't wait to just go through this and relive the whole thing. Spawn number 326, just, you know, again, I haven't caught up on Spawn yet, but, you know, this is a nice she-spawn on a spawn cycle, maybe? I don't know what's going on there, but I do have my stack of spawns down here that as soon as I've caught up on some other things, I'm going to tackle this. Can't wait to do that. And then just a few issues from the dollar bins, just because they look cool. This Gotham Knights series from DC from back in, well, I think it's late 80s, early 90s. I'm not real sure, but Gotham Knights number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and number 4. It's just a 4-part miniseries. I'm not really sure what the story is, but I love this era of Batman, this era of DC. And since they had all 4 there for $1 each, I thought I'd go ahead and get it. And then for no other reason at all, other than I just really like this era of DC Comics, Captain Atom number 1. This is from '87. I love the post-crisis through early 90s DC. I think there's a lot of good stuff there. You know, the John Byrne Superman and Action Comics, and I love this era of Batman and Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, all that stuff. You know, you had Wally West becoming the Flash. I love this era of DC, and I thought I would add to it with this issue. But the fun doesn't stop there. We've got some collected editions as well. No big boy books this week, but just a good few solid trades. Starting with Moon Knight, the complete collection. This is from Bendis and Malieve. I've never read this run, but you know, I'm super excited for the Moon Knight series. It's going to come out on Disney Plus real soon. I'm not sure how much that borrows from this, but I just, you know, it's a collected, it's one whole collected Moon Knight series, 1 through 12 of that run, and I just wanted to get it, and might try to read it before the show starts. Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. So I haven't read any of the White Knight stuff yet, but I do have the hardcovers. I can't remember. I know there was White Knight, Curse of the White Knight. I can't remember if there's any other White Knight stuff. You guys who have read it will know better than me, but I can't wait to jump on those. I've heard a lot of good things, and this is just going to go with it. The trade paperback for Moths. So this is part of the Resistance universe, if you will, from AWA Upshot. I do have all the other Resistance-related stuff in trades. Resistance Uprising, Erratic, and it seems like there was another one. I haven't read any of them yet, but I think it's so cool that while we talk about, you know, crossovers doing some big things in Image, and Geiger's introducing its own universe, and Radiant Block is trying to launch its own sort of superhero thing in Image, and of course you've got Marvel and DC. AWA Upshot is over here just kind of quietly, I mean, not that nobody's reading it, but it's just not getting as much fanfare. But they have already built their own nice little universe over here on the side, and then there's a lot of nuance to it, a lot of continuity, so I can't wait to read all that stuff, including this. And then last but not least, Bermuda, the trade paperback collecting, I think it's 4 issues of Bermuda. I got the first one, this is from IDW, I got the first issue, read it, really liked it. I got the second issue, fell behind, missed out on the third for some reason, and then by then I thought, you know what, this is going to be a great one to read in trade. This is one of the first ones that I decided I'm not going to get the singles, I'm going to wait until it's all done, all collected. So just based on the first issue, I'm really excited to read this. I really like the concept. And we get to see some weird, like, you know, some weird cool stuff in the Bermuda Triangle. So yeah, can't wait to jump on this one and read it all at once. So guys, that's it. Just another solid haul for the week. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video. If you like this video or any of the other videos on my channel, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a sarcastic thumbs up. And if nothing else, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you picked up this week. Any good, you know, collected editions, dollar issues. How are you liking the things you're reading? Just whatever it is, just leave me a comment below and let's talk about it. I love comic books. I could talk about them with a room full of people or just to a camera. Guys, don't forget, comic books are supposed to be fun. They are just another fun form of storytelling. There is plenty for everyone to look through, find something you like, and it's super easy to just simply ignore the things that you don't like and let everybody else enjoy it if they do. Also, don't forget, it doesn't matter how much you buy each week or each month. What makes a great comic book haul is that the stuff you get is important to you, that's special to you, that gets you excited. When I was reading Dark Knights of Steel, it's another one where I'm sitting upstairs on my couch, completely by myself, and just talking out loud to myself as I'm turning the page, talking through the story. Oh yeah, I can see why they did that. Or when a big reveal happened, oh my gosh, that's, so it's one of those that just has me, expressing emotions about these books out loud, and that's what makes a great comic book haul, that these things mean something to you. So whether it's 1 book, 10 books, 100 books, however much you buy, it doesn't matter. As long as the things matter to you, that's what makes a great comic book haul. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.